Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Everything is Bad New Fangled Motion Picture Show.
Welcome one and all to another episode of the Everything is Bad New Fangled Motion Picture Show. I'm your host, Niall.
And I'm Nolan.
And today we're going to be reviewing the latest... Alright? I'm in the middle of something over here.
Sorry.
Today we're going to be reviewing the latest of Warner Brothers' only successful superhero franchise.
The Batman.
I lied. It's not their only successful. Like, from a financial standpoint, like, all their movies have made money.
Right.
But from a critical standpoint,
yeah,
like Batman's their only consistently liked heroes series. Like every movie, like everyone, I mean, not counting like everything since after Batman and Batman Forever. What was the fourth one?
Batman and Robin.
Everything.
The fourth one.
Everything after Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
People have liked. So we're going to be doing a spoiler-free review of, like, the longest superhero movie Actually, no, Endgame was like 3 hours long, too, wasn't it?
Was it that long?
While you're looking that up, I'm going to continue the spiel here. We're going to be doing a spoiler-free review, and then we'll give you a spoiler warning and get more in-depth into it after that. So, if that's, cool with you, we will carry on. Yeah, so this movie is... 2 hours and 58 minutes?
Oh yeah, Endgame is 3 hours and 1 minute.
Yeah, but it didn't feel like it. At least with Endgame, there wasn't anything that was like, oh, they really could have cut this down or cut that out. That didn't need to be there.
So while this movie is very long, I don't know that they could have cut anything out, but I think they probably could have cut some stuff down.
Yeah.
And brought it down closer to 2.5 hours.
If they could have gotten it closer to 2.5 hours, I think. I mean, it's a single hero movie.
Yeah, it's...
At least with Endgame, there was so much going on, and there's a million characters.
Right, it's pretty slow-paced for a comic book movie.
Yeah, which I actually kind of liked.
Yeah, well, see, one thing I liked about this is it focused a lot on Batman as a detective.
As the world's greatest detective?
Right.
So they even threw that in as a joke.
Right, because he missed something at one point.
Right.
But he goes back and finds it.
Yeah, someone mocking him.
Yeah, but yeah, there's actually not a lot of fight scenes compared to the overall run of the movie, and it's a lot more detective stuff, which
makes sense for when your villain is the Riddler.
Yeah, but the fight scenes are very brutal.
Oh yeah,
the ones that are in there.
So this movie, what's it rated? PG-13. It's borderline R.
If they had a little bit more swearing in it,
yeah, it's. Holy crap! I mean,
because they have their allowable F-bomb. One.
Yeah, where was... I don't even remember where it was.
I remember it was there. I don't remember where it was either.
Yeah, so it's a very dark movie. So the fighting is super brutal. And the Riddler is kind of like Diet Jigsaw.
Yeah, I felt they went a little too much into the Jigsaw side of things.
I mean,
more than I would have liked.
To me, it makes sense for like a modern take on the Riddler, though.
Right.
He's like this super fringe, like the kind of like conspiracy theory thing you stumble upon late night on TikTok when you've been doom scrolling for too long, and you're like, "What is happening in my life right now?"
Yeah, I have always said that I thought in the right hands, Riddler could be a very sinister villain. He could be a very good villain. And when there was a rumor that the third Christopher Nolan Batman movie was going to have the Riddler, I thought, great. I think he could handle it very well.
Yeah.
But
instead we got chaos.
Yeah.
I was bored of the darkness.
Yeah, that's
molded by it.
I was telling you the other day. I think that's of the three. That's the one I like the least.
Yeah.
Is the third one. But. I thought, the Riddler they made the Riddler, like, serious. Like, they took him seriously in this, which I appreciate, because a lot of the time he's like a joke.
Yeah, I mean, really, like...
They make him a joke in a lot of other adaptations of stuff, animated stuff in particular.
He's super Silver Age. Like, just the concept of his...
I mean, not as Silver Age as, like, Calendar Man. But...
Sure, but, like, he's still pretty Silver Agey as far as, like, the kind of things that he's normally done in the cartoons and the comics. And
right.
in the movie.
Yeah.
Which you said it was Batman and Robin?
That was Batman Forever.
Dude, I don't know. I've seen the first Batman one, the first
Tim Burton.
the Tim Burton Batman several times. I think I've probably seen each of the other ones once from those four.
Yeah, Batman Returns is pretty good, but it's very Tim Burton.
Was that the one with Mr. Freeze or Doctor?
No.
Or
Mr. Freeze
Mr. Freeze?
was in Batman and Robin. The Batman Returns had Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, and it had Danny DeVito as the Penguin.
Oh right, yeah. Here's my good hand, right?
Yeah, and it's
Was
all
that-
like this like webbed thing. Yeah, that movie was super Tim Burton, and you can look at that and go, yeah, I can see why maybe they didn't want him to do a third one.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to this Batman movie. Anyway, despite our complaints about its length and some things we like, it's actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah,
though.
actually, it's sitting at an 8.6, and I think that's probably about right. It was actually a really good Batman movie. I really enjoyed it. It's just by the end of it, you do feel the length.
Right, because it is slow paced.
Yeah.
Because it is this like mystery and this build up and everything, and the action scenes that are in there are brutal and violent, and
the chase scene when we finally get to see. Although one of my biggest problems with the movie, since the movie is very dark, literally dark.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's at night or super overcast or like down in the depths of the city, and just everything's like
very little
dark.
color. It's like black and white, and then like one other color. A lot of times red.
Yeah, there's
or
a lot
orange.
of red. Yeah, a lot of red and orange in there, and so we don't ever get a really good look at the Batmobile in this one.
Yeah,
Like
you get the best looks you get of it is when it's parked in the Batcave.
yeah, and it's like background stuff, and it's under a tarp for most of that, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can see like he's working on it because they have like the engine separated, or like you can see the progress of it because every time they show the Batcave, there's a little bit more work done on it.
Yeah, see, one thing I would have appreciated is explaining, like how like just mention a throwaway line that would have mentioned like his time at whatever the DC equivalent of MIT is or something,
Yeah, you went to some engineering school or
Yeah, there's some throwaway lines to explain like how Batman's able to like do all this stuff, come up with all because he does have gadgets.
So one in particular is very impressive.
Wait, you talking about the thing at the end of the movie?
No.
The very end? No. Oh, that thing. Yeah. That's really cool. Also, that thing though is not like unheard of technology.
Right, but like, I mean,
yeah. So, but one thing that was kind of weird though is so this movie leaned really heavy into the gothic Gotham style. Everything is so over the top gothic.
Yeah, especially inside Wayne Manor, which is now this like tower.
Well, Wayne Manor was sold when they built the tower. He said.
Oh, you're right.
It became because there's a point in the movie where that's important.
Right.
And so, so it's this tower, but it's like he's
every building's a high rise. Like the police station's a high rise.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just everything's super duper gothic. That church, there's a scene in a church in there that's like so over the top gothic.
Right. I was looking at I think it's like an actual church in Scotland somewhere where they filmed that.
Yeah.
But like inside Bruce Wayne's home, there's just like these like arches that are like these curved like scalloped arches and like these like peaked windows everywhere, and it's just like everything's this gothic architecture.
It's all stone,
right?
So, yeah, but it's still like set in modern times. Like they're all using smartphones and stuff, and there's some fairly advanced tech in there.
Yeah,
So I don't know. It's just it was weird. Like I've never seen a worse off Gotham City in any of these Batman movies, though. I think.
It's pretty bad.
This is like the worst condition Gotham has ever been portrayed in a movie, I think.
Yeah, I would be finding every way to move out of Gotham.
Yeah, we're moving to Metropolis.
Hell, we'll go over to like Jersey
Jumps.
City or something.
We go to Jump City, right? Is that where the Teen Titans were?
Yeah, but that's on the West Coast.
Yeah. Well, it seemed way better.
Yeah, Bloodhaven. They're talking about that. That's a bad one too. Over on the east.
Oh yeah.
They mentioned that. Someone mentioned going to Bloodhaven.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I think that's where Nightwing he takes up
Was that like?
residence.
Is that like?
I don't know.
Like
What
Oakland?
I don't. Probably like Baltimore.
Wait, you said it's on. Oh, it's on the east side.
Yeah.
On the east coast. Oh,
Yeah,
I was thinking west coast.
No, Jump City's West Coast.
Right. Bloodhaven. Yeah. Baltimore would be bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boston. Anyway, so yeah, like Gotham is in the worst condition it's ever been in a Batman movie. I think. Everything like there's this weird blend of styles because like in all the cars are like normal whatever cars, but the architecture is just wild.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about Robert Pattinson as Batman though.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
He's actually pretty good.
So they did an interesting thing where so usually like it's like two personas. There's Batman and there's Bruce Wayne. But in this, it's more like they decided that Bruce Wayne is not going to be far different from Batman in his mood and behavior. You can kind of tell whenever he's like being Bruce Wayne, he doesn't like Batman doesn't turn off at any point, you know.
Well, and, I mean that's kind of how it was in the animated series too, which is considered like
peak
Batman.
Yeah.
As far as like audio visual medium goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's I think he was a pretty good Batman, honestly, and like I like Robert Pattinson too. Like, some of the interviews there was that whole weird thing with him trying to explain Final Fantasy VII love interest to Zoe Kravitz.
I never saw it. You were talking about that. I didn't see it though.
Yeah. She gave an interview later saying like this is the problem with society, is like. I don't know,
Robert Pattinson's allowed to.
No, her problem was with Final Fantasy VII love, like triangle thing going on. Like that was also like 25 years ago, so things are a little different back in the 90s.
I mean, is her problem just she doesn't believe that video games could tell a story?
No, I know it was something about like the way it portrays love and stuff. I don't exactly know.
Okay.
But I like briefly glanced over it.
I mean,
when we were
it is
eating
3
dinner.
damaged people in this relationship,
Right?
So,
But yeah, no, I like Robert Pattinson though. Like, despite him being in Twilight, he's a cool dude. I've liked the other stuff I've seen him in.
well, you know what's funny? Did you ever see him talk about how he decided to portray Edward? Is that he hated the character so much because he read it and he's like, this guy's the worst. So he decided to portray him as a self-loathing person because he hated the character.
That's awesome. Yeah, but I mean, like he's shown he has some serious acting chops. I mean, he was in The Lighthouse.
Yeah, and Tenet.
Yeah.
A much more watchable movie, despite being very confusing the first time through.
Tenet?
Yeah.
Yeah. You mean more watchable than The Lighthouse?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not than Batman.
No.
No.
But yeah, I mean, so I like Robert Pattinson. I thought he was a good Batman. I thought everyone was well done in this movie. Colin Farrell, dude.
I didn't realize he was the Penguin until
Well, you didn't
credits.
you didn't realize the Penguin was Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I he totally disappears in that makeup and that costume.
Yeah, Andy Serkis was great as Alfred too.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, I thought they just did generally a really good job with all the casting in this.
Yeah, I think they did. It was all pretty great. And
Jeffrey Wright's always great.
Yeah, he's good too. Yeah, like I said, I really enjoyed the movie. Just you got to know that you're going into a 3-hour movie, and it's not. There's action, but it's not like nonstop action.
Yeah.
There's a lot of slower moments.
Oh, and thank God they didn't make us sit through another origin story for Batman.
Yeah, by this point, everyone knows Batman's origin story. it gets brought up, but like, you know, in a natural, just
Right.
conversational way. So, but yeah, everyone going into the movie knows Batman's origin story. We don't need to relive that.
Yeah. So the Riddler, though, super sinister. Robert Pattinson, good Batman. Jeffrey Wright, good Gordon. Zoe Kravitz, good Selena Kyle.
Yeah, they never call her Catwoman at any point.
Yeah, they always call her Selena. But,
Yeah.
I mean, she has the whole cat. She has, like, the little cat ear-shaped little protrusions on the top of her, like,
Her hood thing.
her hood, or balaclava thing.
Yeah.
And then she has a bunch of cats. She also doesn't use a whip.
That's good.
Yeah.
It
A whip that is as long as it needs to be for the story.
Yeah, something that like it's one of those things that if it might work in a comic book, it might work in animation, it doesn't work in live action.
No. Oh man, that was so bad in that Halle Berry movie. So yeah, and it's just generally good Batman. I like Robert Pattinson in the role. I want to see more Robert Pattinson as Batman. In summation. And they definitely, like every comic book movie, they leave it up for a sequel at the end.
I said I read that he's signed for 3 movies.
Cool.
So this movie's doing well enough. I'm sure they're working on another one.
Yeah, and I mean, one of the villains at some point is going to be the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Because it has to be.
Yeah, that's all that happens.
Yeah. So, anyway, spoiler bit.
Yeah.
Spoiler time. So, the Riddler, very sinister plot through the whole thing. Typical, like, it's like a common theme in Batman stuff that, like, a villain is trying to expose the corruption of Gotham, and
a fringe. He's a fringe element that's been hurt by the system.
Very common theme in Batman. Like basically everyone except for the Joker. It seems like. Well, no, I guess Scarecrow wasn't done that way, right?
No, I mean, and then also in Joker,
yeah,
they kind of did that with him too, though.
Yeah, in the Joaquin Phoenix movie, yeah. And then obviously the whole thing with Bane and all that was the same sort of. I mean, it was a similar sort of playbook almost, just using his capabilities instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very like he's it's this. I thought it was an interesting take on him. Something that's very modern sensibilities as far as he's like this fringe element. He's streaming this stuff on this crazy these crazy rambling streams on like Gotham Talk, like whatever fake TikTok or like Instagram Reels or whatever. It's convinced everyone that portrait mode is somehow okay for video format. I hate that so much. And so he's like going on these like rambling speeches about the corruption and all this, and there's like you can see like the comments on his videos and stuff, and agreeing with him, and it's really interesting from that perspective. I guarantee you there's going to be some YouTube videos going like equating this this is showing the evil of like
capitalism.
Well, it's going to be like showing the evil like of these far right fringe groups or whatever. That's somehow how it's going to be spun.
Yeah. Probably. I liked for one thing, I don't know why they never like put out like we need to look for any Caucasian male with blue eyes and possible visual impairment. I mean, he's got this mask on, but he's wearing his glasses, and you can see his eyes behind it.
Yeah.
And the the skin around the eyes. But when they finally arrest him, he just like comes off as so crazy.
Yeah, well, he's totally unhinged. Which you gotta imagine, you gotta think anyone who's a legit supervillain in the Batman setting has to be. You translate any of that into like a quote unquote real life setting,
Yeah.
they have to be batshit insane.
Yeah. But so this kind of leads into why we know they're gonna have to do the Joker, because
the Joker's locked up in Arkham next door to the Riddler.
yeah. So at the end, the Riddler's in Arkham, and then they don't call him. It's obviously the Joker, but they never come out and say who he is. But he makes references to clowns.
He makes a reference to clowns, and then has his Joker laugh.
Yeah, that was apparently because he's Barry Keoghan. He's in Dunkirk. In the Green Knight, he was that bandit that he and the robbed him and stuff.
What? Really?
Yeah. And in Eternals, that's right. He was in Eternals too.
I don't know how I feel.
He was Druig in Eternals.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't.
Because at first we were hearing the voice like it kind of sounded like Jared Leto, and we're like, did they actually do that? But as far as I can tell, because he's unseen Arkham prisoner, that's got to be him, right? That's got to be that character.
Yeah. The guy next to me at the end like thought it was like trying to tell his friends like, oh no, it might be Two-Face, and I'm like, I wanted to be like, are you an idiot?
It's Clayface. That's obviously who it is.
It's the Cinderblock.
Oh, from Teen Titans.
Yeah. I was
it's Killer Shark, obviously.
Yeah, King Shark.
King Shark. I don't know.
I think
Maybe.
it's King Shark.
Yeah, that might be it. Killer Croc. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, we're not the biggest DC fans. So but yeah, I wanted to be like, are you an idiot? Like, he's making references to clowns and has that laugh.
Yeah,
Come on.
Obviously, it's Calendar Man.
That would have been amazing. I would love to watch a Batman movie where Calendar Man is the villain and they like everyone's taking it seriously. Oh, that would be fantastic. I would love that movie. I would love for that to be made.
I would too. I want to meet the person who could write that. Because they would be, I mean, they deserve a Pulitzer for if they could write Calendar Man as a serious, like, sinister villain that brings Gotham to its knees. And only the Batman can stop him.
Oh gosh. Anyway, so one thing that we wanted to bring up that felt weird, other than the architecture. The technology of this movie is fairly advanced. I mean, it's very modern. Like I said, everyone's got smartphones. The Riddler streaming to like whatever made up TikTok analog they have, and the Batman has this technology, is this camera built into this contact lens he puts on, and he has Selena Kyle wear it for a bit. And it's like, that's super advanced technology. It's something that they're actually working on right now. So it's not like crazy to think about that this could exist. But what feels weird is the computer that's like in this briefcase that he like can view it through and talk to the Selena through it or whatever, is like these circular screens displaying what's going on, and he's got all these knobs on it. I'm like, what's with all these knobs? What technology, what hyper advanced technology is controlled?
Why is it analog?
Why is it analog? What hyper advanced technology piece of equipment is gonna be controlled by a dozen knobs? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's the only piece of technology that's like that, though.
Right. Everything else is like normal. Like, he has a laptop. Like there's like regular computers and phone, like smartphones and stuff in there.
It's weird.
There's an EOD robot.
Yeah.
It's that felt weird. Everything else I was fine with. That just felt weird. I don't know if it's supposed to be emphasizing how like all of the Batman's gear is like sort of homemade slapdash kind of feeling to it.
Mm.
Um,
That's something I liked about. I pointed out the costume, the
Yeah.
Batman costume. It feels like you can see like where he like bought these like shin guards and then like incorporated them into his costume, and like his boots are just a pair. Look like just a old like pair of army combat boots that he picked up somewhere.
yeah.
And it's like a lot of it feels like homemade and
Yeah, no, like his costume was cool, and like yeah, that's sort of like it's clear that he's assembled all of this stuff together in his Bat cave, and the Batmobile is just like
a souped up
a
muscle
souped
car.
up muscle car. Yeah. I mean, it's got like a jet engine thing, like this, like
Atomic engines to power,
well, so it's like
turbines to go.
so if you look at the photo here, it looks like a V10 engine or something in the back of this thing, and like the exhaust is like shooting blue flame out of it.
Mm.
You know,
You can
but
see
it's,
where you want to move your engine to the rear so you can ram things with it.
yeah. And here's a close-up photo of his cowl, and it's all like sewn together patches of leather and stuff. You know, so I think everything looks really cool because of that. You know, it's very much him doing this stuff on his own, sort of putting this stuff together. Except the bat symbol on his chest is apparently like a box cutter.
I think it's a big batarang, and he just never threw it.
He threw a batarang at someone in the club, didn't he?
Did he? I don't know.
In that fight?
That fight was so frenetic. I couldn't tell.
Here's a photo of Zoe Kravitz, Selena Kyle, holding a whip. And I'm so glad that didn't come up in the movie.
Yeah, I don't think she ever used a whip in the movie.
I don't recall that ever coming up.
I mean, she did like have that one guy hanging. She was questioning him. She was like hanging a guy over a ledge, but
What is this poster? He's out to clean up a city that likes being dirty. He
All
can't
right.
do it alone. What is?
It's like a fan. It's like a fan poster.
I don't know, man. It's like clearly for this movie because it's got the Riddler symbol with like the things around the question mark.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like scrolling through photos here on IMDb from the movie. But yeah, so like I said, I wonder if like this computer thing of his controlling the camera on the contact lens, having all the knobs is supposed to make it feel like he put it together himself, or
I guess.
I don't
But he
know.
does this thing. He wears this contact lens whenever he goes out crime fighting, so he can go back and review the video of things to see if like he missed any clues or whatever.
Yeah, because he's being world's greatest detective. Dude, look at this guy's editing setup in this photo. That's impressive. Look how big his timeline is.
It's a 3-hour movie. Of course, it got a big timeline.
He's got like a whole monitor dedicated to the timeline. Anyway, so yeah, I don't think there's much else to say about it. It was good. I liked that the Penguin was in there, but not the main villain. Not even like really secondary villain
Yeah, he was a lackey for a bigger villain.
for Falcone
Yeah,
or Falcone.
Falcone.
Who I mean, after Falcone is
I'm
killed,
sure he's gonna move up.
he's probably gonna move
Yeah.
up. Which would set. I mean, it's a perfect setup for him to be the main villain in the next one.
Or at least a bigger villain.
Yeah. Yeah, I always felt it weird to like have the Penguin as a serious main villain in a Batman movie because like he's just a very
Thematic.
extra mob boss.
Yeah, he's a thematic mob boss.
Yeah.
At least he didn't have him with a cigarette holder and top hat.
Or an umbrella with a gun built into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you got anything else to say about this movie?
No, not really. I guess so we can talk about the big spoiler that like Thomas Wayne was not a saint.
Yeah.
You say it that way. He wasn't a bad person, but we find out that he had some underworld connections himself.
Yeah, which I mean, I thought was an interesting take on it, a different sort of take on it. It definitely, it definitely like changed, the perception of the Wayne family. Dude, Robert Pattinson is such a jaw. Oh my gosh. Like, if they were gonna make another Dredd movie and they couldn't get Karl Urban back, they could get him to do it. Look at that thing.
Helps keep his upper lip stiff.
Also, is he really tall? Did we look that up?
No, he's like seems to tower over almost everyone in this movie though.
He's 6'1".
6'1".
He's fairly tall.
I mean, also those boots add a little bit of height.
Yeah.
Maybe an inch or two.
Yeah, he's towering over everyone in this movie. And he's in the Batman costume like, what, 90% of the movie?
Yeah.
So.
And Jeffrey Wright's 5'9". So he's
not that tall.
Yeah, so he's gonna be like that much taller than Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah.
I'm sure Zoe Kravitz isn't all that tall either.
Right. Well, she had those high-heeled boots on for a while too.
Right. But those are the characters he towered over predominantly.
Yeah. She's 5'2".
5'2".
She's so tiny.
So even in the high-heeled boots, he was still towering over her.
Wow. She's so short. Anyway, so you got anything else to say about this movie?
No.
All right, let's see what's coming up. So, nothing next week, I think. The week after, we have Operation Fortune, Ruse de Guerre, which is the next Guy Ritchie movie, so of course we're going to see it. It's got Jason Statham in it because it's Guy Ritchie.
That's not always a given. He wasn't in The Gentleman.
That's true. But he's in a lot of...
Yeah, nor was he in that Arthur movie. Was it King Arthur?
Oh, yeah. Well, he didn't...
Or Aladdin.
Can't... Bring up Aladdin every time we talk about Guy Ritchie.
He directed Aladdin.
I understand he directed Aladdin.
What do you want from me?
The outfit we're probably going to try to see, right?
Yeah.
Looks like a very dense movie. Let's see. The Lost City, we're probably going to see. Looks like fun. It looks like it's going to be super cheesy and silly, but it looks fun.
Yeah.
Dude, that Everything Everywhere All at Once movie freaks me the hell out every time I see the trailer for it.
What movie was that?
Oh, man. That's that,
with, was it Michelle Yeoh or...
Yeah, with Michelle Yeoh.
And she's, like, has all these, like, different universes coming together, and then...
Yeah, or something.
Yeah, that's an A24 film.
It very much is.
It actually looks kind of fun, though.
It looks interesting, but, God, that trailer weirds me out every time I see it, dude. Let's see. April 1st, we got Morbius. I'm curious about this Chris Pine movie, The Contractor. Seems like we haven't seen much of Chris Pine and stuff since
Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Let's see. We got Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Of course, we're seeing that. We're seeing are we seeing Ambulance?
Oh,
Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, maybe.
Jake Gyllenhaal. I think we decided to not see Secrets of Dumbledore, even though it does look like a better movie.
It does look like a better movie, but man, that last one just left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah. So 3 movies come out all at once on the same week. The Northman, which is a Robert Eggers movie.
No, it's not. Is it?
Yeah.
He's not directing it.
Yeah.
The Northman?
Uh-huh.
This is from visionary director so-and-so.
Like, I'm just saying. It says from visionary director. All I can tell you is that I'm going off of what IMDb is saying.
Robert Eggers.
Yeah.
You said Robert Rodriguez.
I said Robert Eggers.
Are you sure?
Roll the tape.
Alright.
Anyway, but he did The Lighthouse. And like some other stuff. It looks very Robert Eggers, though. I gotta say. But it looks cool. It looks very metal, right?
Yeah.
But also that same weekend is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which I highly recommend you go see the trailer for that if you haven't. Go look that up. That looks awesome. And then The Bad Guys looks pretty interesting too. Yeah, so that's like what we got upcoming through April. Doctor Strange is coming out in May. Supposedly, that movie's been delayed a bunch. I mean, Morbius was supposed to be out in January. Like, you can go back and watch previous reviews where I'm like back in December where I'm like, yeah, we're seeing Morbius next month. So, oh, and Top Gun's finally coming out in May. And the Bob's Burgers movie. Man, that Top Gun movie, when was that? That was supposed to be out like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, like a November release. Like
Like
2020 or something.
Oof, or 2020? Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds right. Oh, man. Well, that'll be cool to finally see. So, it has Miles Teller in it. And Val Kilmer. Alright, so if any of that sounds of interest to you, come back and check out our reviews for that. Hit the bell, subscribe. I would say it really helps out, guys, but it doesn't because we're not making money off of this.
No, we're not getting a whole lot of views. I don't think.
No. So, and then
We
go
do it
check
for our own satisfaction.
Yeah, we do it because we have to make sure our opinions are out there because that matters.
It does matter.
So also go check out our other reviews. What was our last review?
Now I have a brain fart. Oh, Uncharted.
Uncharted. That's right. So yeah, go check those out. Come back, check out our other stuff coming up. We see lots of movies. All the time. Non-stop. Constant movies.
Constant movies. If we're not watching movies, we're reviewing movies.
Yep. So
I haven't slept in years.
all right. So yeah, until next time. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Toodles.